Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me in my adventure into business. This week, we are looking at a very important part of capital budget analysis: sensitivity analysis. But first, we must understand what sensitivity analysis is. Sensitivity analysis, also referred to as simulation analysis, is a technique employed in the financial modeling. In financial analysis, it uses what-if scenarios to help a financial analyst determine how different values of a set of independent variables can influence a particular dependent variable under certain specific conditions and assumptions. Sensitivity analysis is used in a wide variety of fields, such as engineering, biology, environmental studies, social sciences, chemistry, and even economics. So when we go to conduct sensitivity analysis, there are two methods that we can approach. We can look at the quantitative and the qualitative steps that can be taken. The quantitative steps is where the mathematical portion of sensitivity analysis resides. On the screen, you can see 5 different steps that a financial analyst can use to help conduct their sensitivity analysis. Step 1, the analyst will need to identify key variables, determine which project variables have the most significant impact on the project's net present value, or NPV. These could include factors like sales volume, costs, discount rate, or project duration. Next, the analyst will need to define the ranges. They need to specify ranges of values for each identified variable. This range should cover a realistic spectrum of potential outcomes. For example, you might vary the sales volume from a very low estimate all the way up to a very high estimate. Step 3, we're going to set incremental steps. We decide how to step through the ranges. We're going to specify the increments. For example, you may increase sales volume in steps of 10% or even 25%. The fourth step, we're going to calculate the net present value. For each combination of variables, values within the defined ranges, we're going to calculate the project's NPV. This will result in multiple NPV estimates. And then finally, the analyst can analyze the results. They're going to examine the sensitivity analysis results and look for patterns and trends. Identify which variables have the most significant impact on the NPV and how changes in those variables can affect the project's feasibility. Moving on to the qualitative steps, we can see that there are a second set of steps that we only have 3 up here for. That's because it's not as mathematical. First, you're going to look at the risk assessment. You're going to consider the qualitative factors that can impact project parameters, such as changes in market conditions, regulatory changes, technology advancements, or even geopolitical factors. You're going to assess how these uncertainties may influence the project's cash flows. Next, you're going to do scenario analysis. You'll create different scenarios based on various combinations of qualitative factors and assess how each scenario affects the project's NPV. For example, you can consider a best case scenario, a worst case scenario, and then a base case scenario. And then thirdly, you're going to look at the sensitivity to key assumptions. Discuss the robustness of the project by considering how sensitive it is to variations in the key assumptions. Highlight the areas where slight changes could result in significant shifts in the NPV. Now that we've discussed what sensitivity analysis is, let's see how it can be used to help with capital budget analysis. Capital budgeting analysis is a process of identifying, analyzing, and selecting investments on new projects that can help the company's revenue exceed its costs. It's an important process because capital expenditures require a large investment, but oftentimes are limited by the inflow and outflow of cash. A proper capital budgeting analysis can help ensure that the business achieves its financial goals. There are 3 major methods that are used to conduct the analysis, including discounted cash flow analysis, payback analysis, and throughput analysis. Earlier, we discussed sensitivity and scenario analysis. These come back full circle as they are part of the capital budgeting analysis, especially if a company is planning on incorporating risk. It is vital to determine what risks exist for each possible investment so that the company understands what the potential positive and negative impacts exist. When wanting to incorporate risk, a company will need to complete a risk assessment and quantify the risks that may occur with each investment option. After this is completed, simulations would be conducted. The main one often used is the Monte Carlo simulation. In order to see what the potential outcomes could be, after the simulations, the company can use the data to adjust the cash flow projections to fall in line with the simulations and do the same with a discount rate. This is when the sensitivity and scenario analysis would be conducted, leading into the risk mitigation strategies that could be used to reduce the amount of risk that the company is taking. Well, that's all I have for you for today. Thanks for watching.